What up, what up, what up? This is Mike the Philosopher here with another one, y'all. This one is Make a Move. All right. Now, this is turning out to be a crazy season. Without further ado, let's just go in. First up, they introduced the guys, and this time it's the matchmaker. For the most part, I think the matchmaker did a relatively decent job with getting some of these guys. But I'm not gonna front. When I seen these guys, I was like, these look like a bunch of passport bros or something. I don't know. They seemed a little. It seemed like the type of guys who would turn into passport bros, and the reason I say that is because they don't look polarizing, and what I mean by that is they don't look super thuggish, or they don't look super corporate. They kind of look like they sort of in the middle, and a lot of those guys who fall in the middle are the guys who ended up maybe turning into passport bros, or guys who just probably not going to get certain attention from especially sisters. A lot of sisters probably wrote a lot of these guys off as being, too nerdy, too, dorky looking, or, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying that about all the guys, but for the most part, some women might like some of the guys in here, but they just look like a group of passport bros to me initially. All right. And when I seen them, I was like, wow, these guys, I don't want to say they from the reject file or whatever, but listen, all of these guys are good guys. Well, they have good careers, practically all of them. One is a vice president, another is a former professional basketball player, another is a pharmacist, and another is a lawyer. I mean, if you got problems with those professions, you just got problems. Okay. If you can't make it work with one of those guys in those professions, problem is you. Problem is probably you. That's all I'm saying. Next up, Zadia, she goes on a date with Cameron, right? And it's funny to me because she said her love language is money. Oh, and like, give me some news. Of course is your love language. That's most women love language, especially in the West. Women in the West really care about money, and I sort of get it. Like, this is the place where life is probably some of the most expensive to live. Here in the West, like in Europe or maybe Australia or something like that. In all these European places, life is super expensive. It just is. So women's love language has turned into money. It's like, that's not even a Western thing, man. That's just a global thing. I mean, women are just hypergamous by nature. So that's every woman's love language. So, give me something that's that's unique to you, because that's universal right there. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I don't know if Cameron was thinking that, but and Cameron kind of admits too that he's a bit corny. He's a photographer and a pharmacist. Now, pharmacists make good money. He said he a doctor, and that's possible. So you got a doctor and a lawyer in these guys. Professional basketball player and a vice president at a school. You got a good crop of guys who are doing a thing equivalent to um the other show, which is the Love Experiment. Those guys were, had good careers. So it kind of makes me think, like, where I often hear women talk about, oh, these guys out here are bums. The women are doing so much better. Like, I mean, just take a look at the guys that's on these shows. Like, y'all doing so much better than these guys. I'm not seeing that. I mean, it's more of them than it is y'all. It was 3 women on the Love Experiment, and it was 4 women on this show. And it's like, but y'all gathered up a ton of guys who got great careers. Where y'all get this whole men are bums and can't be, leaders and head of the household? I don't know. That's just a frustration of mine, because it's like, the narrative out here, you would think that they would never be able to gather all of these guys if you know if the rumors or the narrative was true. You would never think that they would be allowed to get any of these guys. Well, apparently they out there, and they got good careers, just as good as the ladies. Okay, pharmacists, lawyers. You got professional ball players, principals. You got some good guys out here with some good careers. So can we kill the whole narrative of ain't no man out here up to our standards, and ain't no man out here who can be on our level, and black men don't have a good career? It's bull. And these shows is actually proving it. This is so bull. Anyway, I digress. Next up, Ashley, she goes on a date. She goes on a bike ride. And she gets on this bike, y'all, and she's wibbling and wobbling. And I'm like, it's funny to watch her ride a bike. I'm like, are you serious? You can't ride a bike? You can't ride a bike. Are you serious? I mean, did she grow up in Atlanta? Is she part of she said she part of the first season, so she must be from Atlanta, Ashley. They ain't got bikes in Atlanta. It's just hard. Like, there's a saying, it's like riding a bike. Okay. Once you learn how to ride a bike, you should always know how to ride a bike. It's like riding a bike. You can't ride a bike. I don't know. I just found that a little odd. Like, she got the hang of it. She started ringing her bell and this, that, and the third. But I don't know. I was a little shocked to see that. Like, you're a grown woman. You can't ride a bike. It's not, I don't know. I have the idea that everybody from childhood at least rode a bike before, at least had a bike. And, to see her struggle with it and, almost fall and whoop, whoop, and then, she said the handlebars. I don't know. It was just a little odd to me. But like that saying goes, it's like riding a bike. Just get back on and pick up where you left off. I guess I'm saying it shouldn't have been that long ago. Like, I don't know. I mean, even on a stationary bike at a gym, you kind of get the fundamentals of the handlebars and the pedals and things like that. So you never been on a bike at a gym? I know that you don't have to balance that, but I don't know. It was just a little weird to me. Marcus kind of gets in hot water with Ashley. because he got the wrong color of her dress. He said something like, "You was in this nice, sexy yellow," and she was like, "Oh, nope, that wasn't me. That was Zadia. I was in the tan." And ladies, y'all gotta understand something. Men ain't all that. We ain't all that with colors, okay? I'm not saying we don't see colors. There's probably a higher number of colorblind men than it is women. Why that is, I don't know. But men, we just don't see color the same way. So, and we're not gonna distinguish, tan from yellow. Like, tan could probably look a little yellowish to most men, if I'm being honest. Like, it just, we tan, yellow, she should have gave him a pass on that. If I'm like, I'm just saying, she should have gave him a pass on that. But I don't think she held it against him too much. They continued to date on, but it seemed like it was a little bit of a demerit on his side, but it is what it is. Next up, Vernisha goes on her date with Ramon. This guy looks familiar to me. I don't know where I seen this guy, but he been on TV before. Where, I don't know. If somebody can name the place or the show that he's been on, I seen this brother from someplace before. Was he on Ready to Love? I don't know if he was on Ready to Love before. He was on TV before, and he looks familiar to me, and I'm like, I can't get the place that he was on, but I seen him on a show before somewhere. Anyway, so yeah, they go on a date, and it's funny because looking at Vernisha, I started thinking of her and her connection with Joel. And I kid you not, y'all. I kid you not. The next show I turned on the TV. Now, this is when I turned Make That Move off. I turned on because I started watching something else. I started watching, I think the show name is House Hunters, right? And bam, watching House Hunters, I see Joel. And I see Joel and his wife, the one who passed away before he got on Ready to Love. So him and his wife were actually house hunting, looking for another house. And I got to see his wife, the one who passed away. And I was like, dang. I don't know. It was just a kind of a shocking thing that soon after I seen Vernisha, here Joel is on House Hunters with his wife shopping for a new house. Cute chocolate chick. She was real cute. She was chocolatey. She was probably, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't. No, she wasn't as dark as Lee, but she was darker tone, maybe a little Ashley, maybe Ashley's tone a little bit, I think a shade darker than Ashley, I would say, but she was a cute chick, and I seen them buy a house and stuff. It was just funny to me that I seen Joel, but yeah, I couldn't help but to trip out off of that after I got done watching Vernisha. Hear Joel pop up on my screen. I put it in the comments how many of y'all knew he was on House Hunters too, Joel, and he did TV before he did Ready to Love. I'd be interested to know that. Um, Ramon, he admits that, he hasn't really been in a relationship in 15 years. Like, I think he said something like 2008 or something like that. And even that one only lasted for 2 years. That really turned Vernisha off. Like, you haven't been in a relationship for 15 years, a serious relationship. So that means you've been smashing everything 50 going north for a decade and a half. Yeah, that really kind of turned Vernisha off. I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, this guy is a professional basketball player. He gonna have chicks coming at him. He's tall. He's gonna have chicks coming at him left and right. If you're a decent looking guy, you have the height that a lot of women desire. You playing professional sports. I said to myself, why would any guy get married? Because, and the reason I say that is because you got options. Okay. You got chicks who you're in that higher echelon where you pretty much check off all that a woman wants, right? All these ridiculous asks out here that women have. He got to be 6 feet. Check. He got to make 6 figures. Check. He probably was doing that in playing pro ball. He got to look decent. Check. He was checking off all of y'all boxes. He was checking off all your boxes. So he's in that, I call it that 1% who checks off all women boxes. So if he's in that 1% who's checking off all women boxes, why don't he just be with all women? Now, I know a lot of women ain't gonna like that and be like, no, you can't say that, Mikey. He should commit to some of these women and this, that, and the third. Listen very closely. People take advantage of their gifts. I'ma just keep it 1,000. Women are the same way. Actually, women are even worse at it than men. They really take advantage of their gifts. What do I mean by that? A beautiful woman, right? A beautiful woman is going to monetize the crap out of her beauty. I don't care if she do OnlyFans. I don't care if she's some type of sex worker, or she's a model, or she is a singer or an influencer, Instagram model, whatever. Women take care of they take advantage of their gifts. Why can't men do that? Men will do that too. And if you got all the you check off all the boxes women want, you're going to take advantage of your gifts. Okay. Now, will that woman of beauty and this, that, and the third and all that, will she, I don't know. I just think that everybody takes advantage of their gifts. And why wouldn't they? It's a gift. It's a gift. It makes them unique. Okay. Kim Kardashian has 0 skills. She don't know. She's just Kim Kardashian. She's a billionaire just for being a woman. You don't think she took advantage of her gifts? Of course she did. So why shouldn't men do that? You know what I mean? But I can understand why Vernisha looked at that as being a bit of a red flag. That may be an an advantage he may want to continue to take advantage of, and that will, you know, he doesn't show that he's ready to settle down. You know, I mean, especially since he hasn't had a long-term relationship in 15 years. That was a bit of a red flag. So I understand. I understand where Vernicia is coming from, but at the same time, when you're checking off all the boxes that the opposite sex want, you're going to use it to your advantage. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. And that's what Ramon, for the most part, was doing, it seemed to me. Next up, Charisse, she go on a date with Maurice. And he's, you know, this guy, I don't know. I just don't know. He likes to be, he said that his secret is being himself. He said, I'm so cool. You know, I'm so cool. Let me listen, ladies. Let me tell you something. My guess is that Maurice is probably a bigger player than Ramon could ever be. Okay. If y'all don't know what a player looks like, a player is Maurice. This guy is a lawyer. This guy is seasoned. Okay. He is such, to me, I know how this guy is moving, and he's moving a little snaky to me. Look, my job is to keep it real with y'all. Okay. He's moving a little snaky to me. You know, they actually ran out of things to say at the dinner table, right? And the reason why I think they ran out of things to say is because this guy is so seasoned with women, he don't want to put his foot in his mouth. He know that there are landmines all over this situation. He was probably debriefed as a lawyer. He was probably debriefed on Charisse, okay? So this is a guy who knows what he's getting into with Charisse. He probably knows her, probably even seen the show. And Charisse got so many landmines out there for men that one little slip up, you could step on a landmine and blow the F up. For real. That's how guarded this woman is. And it shows up even with the women, but I'll get to that later. But what I'm saying is this woman is so guarded, yet she is so offensive to other people. Maurice don't want to put his foot in his mouth. So he don't say much. It's a smart strategy, but it kind of threw her back a little bit to say, look, I just wanted to get to know you. But when you got to walk on eggshells, you're not going to talk too much. I think there's a lot that the guy wants to say. I think there's a lot he wants to say. I think he was holding his tongue for that first date because he don't want to step on one of these landmines. You know, and with Charisse, that is so easy to do. So easy to do. This guy is a true player. He is a true player, probably the biggest player of all the guys on there. Charisse asked him, have you been to this restaurant before? He was like, yeah. Now, for those who don't know, what wonder why I'm laughing at that is because here's I'm gonna take y'all into the head of Maurice. Okay, let's travel into the head of Maurice. She asked, "Has you been here before?" He said, "Yeah." That motherfucker been there a bunch of times. And it's been with 1,000 other women. Okay? 1,000 other women. You think he gonna tell her that? No. He don't want to go into detail. So he just simply says, yeah. But he don't want to get in the conversation of talking about other women. She asked him too, do you go on blind dates often? Sometimes. He said something like that. I'm like, this brother is dodging these landmines like crazy. It was hilarious to me, actually, because he would never elaborate. This is how you know he a player. Okay? He's been to this restaurant a dozen times. He go on blind dates a dozen times. He done smashed a dozen chicks, dozens of chicks. Okay? But he is smart enough to know not to get into conversations about other women that is going to ruin his date with Sharice. It probably happened in the past to him. And he said, you know what? From now on, I'm not going to bring up other chicks because this is how they move. This is how they act. They set you up so that you can step on these landmines. They're actually trying to push you on a landmine. Okay? Just so you blow up. You blow up on them. But you got to be cunning. You can't fall for these tricks and things like that. Give them the least amount of information as possible. Man, give them the least amount of information as possible. And that's what Maurice was doing. He was like, yeah, I've been here, but it made for a dry conversation. But hey, can't argue with the results, right? Can't argue with the results. It got him to it got him to a second date. It got him to a second date, and it was enough to get him by. So I think it was a smart strategy. And the thing is, I have a saying. I've said this to some of my exes, right? Don't ask me a question you don't want to know the answer to. Okay? That was my creation. I think I actually got into the world because I hear other people saying it now. Don't ask me a question you don't want to know the answer to. Okay? So I think that Sharice does that. I think she asks questions she really don't want to know the answer. And here's the thing: if Sharice is a woman you feel like you can't be honest with. I don't like women like that because you know they're gonna use it against you. Okay, I'm here trying to enjoy this ambiance. I'm here trying to enjoy this good food. Okay. And, I got you some nice flowers. Nice flowers. That was a good touch on his part, too. I'm trying to enjoy this moment. Okay. Yes, I have a history, but I don't want to step on none of these landmines that's going to trigger you. Okay. So the best way to play it is to give short, sweet answers. And that's what Maurice did. I think he played it pretty good. But I also think that he should have at least changed the subject or had a had something else to talk about other than you know, curving her, so to speak, because that just made his his method a little obvious to me. I'll put it that way. You know, when you ain't got nothing else to say, I it's easy for me to see that you curving. And I don't know if Sharice caught that, to be honest. I don't think she just said it wasn't much conversation, but I don't think she understood why he was short with the conversation. So a real smooth player would, you know, uh redirect you with a different topic, subject, or whatever like that. Don't ask me how I know. Okay, don't ask me how I know. But what I'm saying is, uh, he still kind of showed his card. So he's a player, but he ain't the smoothest. Okay, the smoothest players know how to redirect you to the point where, you know, it ain't even you ain't even thinking about it. You ain't even thinking about the now. The thing is, Sharice can go back and say, he wasn't talking when I asked these questions. I wonder why. And then she can kind of figure it out. But if he would have redirected her, she wouldn't she wouldn't have nothing to think about. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too winded on that, but I just want everybody to understand. I understand. I know a player when I see one, but he still got to work on his redirecting skills as far as I'm concerned. But that brother is a true player. All right. Next up, you know, the girls kind of get into it a little bit, and Sharice says she don't want men in the house, and she don't want the door unlocked, and she don't want people waking her up. You know, look, I get it. I'll be real. I get it. I guess she don't want the door unlocked. Here's my whole thoughts on the whole thing. She don't want men in the house. I can understand that, kinda. You got to think that this is an experience for all the women. If anything, I could understand her saying, look, you know, if you're going to have company, keep them in your area, in your room or whatever. I don't know if they share rooms. I don't know. I didn't really see that. But if they all got their own room, they grown ass women. They should be able to have company if they want to. Why does that got to, you know, interfere with you in your life? I mean, if you're in your bedroom and you trying to go to sleep, go to sleep. What do you do? What like what you eat don't make me ish. So do what you got to do. We are grown women. But at the same time, I understand this type of woman. This type of woman is super guarded, okay? In every single way you could be guarded. So she don't want men in the house. Okay, whatever. Then she says she don't want to get waken up. Okay, you know, I get it. My whole thing is this. I agree that they probably shouldn't have men in the house. It just makes for a easier stay, more comfortable stay for the ladies. I understand that Sharice don't want to get waken up at the middle of the night to open the door for somebody who creeped out. My first question is, these women don't have a key. They don't have a key to the house. Can somebody get these women a key? Why do they got to leave the door unlocked? That's another thing. She don't want the doors left unlocked. I get that too. You know, so a lot of this I agree with Sharice on is men not being in the house. I'm kind of neutral on that. I'm kind of in between both Zadia and Sharice. So I'm kind of neutral on that. It depends on the people, really. You got to think that this is a production. This is there. Maybe I don't know, but I'm thinking that there are some kind of safety measures. Like, they ain't gonna let nothing go down in the house. I mean, they got people, even if it's just production there, they got people there watching over things. So her paranoia is probably a little bit overboard, if I'm being honest. So if I had to pick a side, I probably would lean more towards Zadia. Not being woken up in the middle of the night, I'm gonna have to agree with her on. I wouldn't like to be waking up just to open the door for somebody. That's going to be annoying. Get these women keys, okay? I'm not babysitting the front door, okay? So I would side with Sharice on that. And I don't know. I just thought that was a weird thing for them to be arguing about already. But I think Cherie is being a little paranoid about the whole men and having company. I think Zadia is a little out of pocket for leaving the door open. Like, look, first, safety first. So if that means no men being in the house, then yeah, just, especially how early it is, I would say, yeah, okay, men shouldn't be. If anything, you should get a general idea of these guys and get to know them before you even start having any kind of company over. Okay, you don't know these guys. You don't even psychologically really know them. So I take that back. I lean more towards the Cherie with that. I lean more towards her with leaving the door unlocked. But I don't like how she approached everything, though. She made it seem like she running the house and she the mama. Imagine this woman having kids. Oh my goodness, she gonna damage the hell out of her kids. Anyway, they're gonna have a narcissistic mama who's probably gonna blame them for everything. And I'm your mama, and all. She can't wait to be a permanent boss to somebody. I know it. Anyway, when confronted about this whole thing by the host, Tamika, Zadia lies about it. She lies about staying out. I don't know if she thought she'd get in trouble or whatever the case may be, but she did lie about it. This tells me a lot about Zadia, a lot about both of these ladies' personality. Zadia will lie to protect herself. Zadia will do reckless things like leave the door unlocked. Okay. It tells me Charisse try to boss people around and be, I guess you could say overprotective or guarded. Just imagine trying to have a relationship with these women. It's no wonder they single. I'm gonna just be real. It's no wonder they single. you got to deal with some serious character flaws or issues for real, dealing with these ladies. Sharice just seems a little unreasonable to me, and she doesn't seem to be a partner. So trying to, if she's not willing to cooperate and reason with women, imagine this woman with a man. Okay. She is going to be so hard to partner with. It is ridiculous. It doesn't even matter how she looked. This is what I meant by it doesn't even matter how the women look. Okay. If you could be Holly Berry, if you act a certain type of way, you're gonna be single and you're gonna die all alone. Okay. With a dog, cat, whatever you choose, and nobody's going to want to be near you. And even if you had kids, your kids are going to want to get away from you. Okay. So these are the type of women you can't partner with. Okay. You can't really have a long-term relationship with them because they're so self-absorbed. They don't take into consideration the partnership of a relationship. Their only concern is how things affect me. That's all they care about. Oh, well, I would say we don't need no man in the house because that's going to affect me. I don't want to get waking up in the morning because that's going to affect me. She is so me driven and so selfish and so self-centered. She only sees the world through Sharice's eyes. You can't be in a relationship with a woman like that. I'm not even sure why Maurice is interested in her, to be honest. Sometimes men get caught up on looks. Sharice is not a bad looking woman. I mean, she could easily be overrated though. I mean, she's a nice looking woman, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, maybe it's just me, but her personality would just eliminate any kind of looks she got. Her personality would drown out her looks. It's so. Next up, Ashley, she eliminates Marcus. Said wasn't no chemistry. Well, she didn't say it wasn't. Well, she said that he doesn't look at her like, she's the one. And he probably wasn't looking at her like that. She's the one. He was probably looking at some of the other chicks in the house. And she probably caught on to that. It is what it is. But, nonetheless, Ashley, decent chick, but I guess he just wasn't feeling it. And, I don't know. I can't really say I blame him, but I think Ashley is a catch too. So, it just wasn't a connection. She just had a stronger connection. And she chose how she chose. Zadia, she lets Jabari go. But let me tell you something. Zadia lets Jabari go. But I think that she only lets Jabari go because she knows Jabari is more into Vernisha than he is with her. I strongly believe if she had another option, she would have eliminated Cameron. I really do. Like, say for instance, it wasn't Jabari, it was another guy that she had, the Kurt Franklin vest guy. If it was him, she probably would have kept him over Cameron. I think she only kept Cameron because she didn't have no other choice. Cameron was her only real guy that was in the house. Jabari was always Vernicious. You know, he probably even let that be known. He was more interested in Vernicia. But I think that's the, and I think she realized that, so she let him go. But he was probably thanking her, like, yeah, thanks for letting me go, because I'm into Vernicia way more than you. But if I think she had another guy, she would have let Cameron go, because they had a bit of a weird conversation. You know, first of all, he was talking to Charisse, and I don't know, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much with that, with talking to Charisse. You know, I think that she's I think, Vernice Charisse is an attractive woman, so she probably caught his attention for a while, and then they talked about um his past relationships. And she was like, yeah, so we got eliminations and everything. Tell me about some past relationships. I really think she would have let this guy go if she had another connection, but she had to keep him. So this wasn't even really a connection keep. This was more of a numbers keep. And he was like, you know, I don't want to tell you about my past relationships. Well, that's how you get to learn about somebody. Yeah, but that's for me to learn. That's for me to know, not you. Listen, I totally agree with him. Okay. And here's the reason why. Women love to hold stuff against you. As a man, they will take that. I did that mistake once. I told my, I guess you could say current, about my ex. And she started looking for all of that stuff. This is what your ex was talking about. Oh, I see it now. Oh yeah. Yeah. This, that, and the third. Oh man. Yeah, I'm like, oh, you couldn't wait to hold stuff against me, huh? Stuff that ain't even really there. Stuff from her perspective, you pushing it on me. She was wrong, and now you adopting her wrong. Okay? Even if it's wrong, they'll take it and they'll adopt it and be like, I see what she was seeing and this, that, and the third. Well, yeah, you're both wrong now. And you want to hold that against me. I give it up. These are some smart guys. Especially the lawyer and the pharmacist. They understand female nature a little bit. That's why, Maurice, he was mum's the word on giving too many details. And Cameron, he was too. He like, look, I ain't telling you about my ex. I don't blame him a bit. Okay. Could he have said it a little bit differently? Yeah, he could have. He could have said it a little more politely. But that's all intrusive stuff. That's information you shouldn't be trying to push, because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Knowing about somebody's past is, you're actually, just think of it this way. Okay, you are a toxic chemical, right? Your last relationship is a toxic, not landmine, but just a toxic lava pit or spring, or just a toxic gooky mess of a pond, right? That's your last relationship. It's the whole thing is toxic. When someone asks you about your past, what they want you to do is take a big scoop of that toxic pond and pour it into your pure, clean water pond. Tell me about that. And then what ends up happening is that your new clean water pond start to turn toxic. You're poisoning your own future relationship with the past toxicity. Why do that? Especially if you're a man, because women will hold everything against you. And women, for the most part, I'm not saying all women, but too many women, they use information as leverage on men to manipulate them. They just do. They use information against men to manipulate them. Information is key, fellas. Information is just key. And I learned a long time ago, guard the information about you, because it can and oftentimes will be used against you. Be careful what you tell people, for real. Especially someone in a relationship with you who has an incentive to manipulate you. You really don't want them to know too much, because all they're going to do is use it as a weapon against you. It just is what it is. Next up, Charisse, she eliminates Antonio. And, this brother, he got the printed vest on and everything, but here's what I already knew this, but it's just funny seeing it in real time. Charisse don't want a guy with kids, right? Maurice, he got 4 kids. She still let Antonio go for Maurice. Fellas, all of guys watching, women will make exceptions if they like you enough. And all women know this. They will make exceptions. All of this, he need to be 6, he need to be this, that, and the third. Let me tell you something. All of that, that's the losers. That's the losers list, okay? It's not the winners list. What do I mean by that? For the winners, they'll make exceptions. Let me give you an example. I want a 6-foot man, 6 figures, 6-pack. But if he a millionaire, he ain't got to be 6 feet. He ain't got to have a 6-pack. He ain't got to have a whole lot of stuff. Okay. That millionaire status will exempt him from all that other stuff. They just throw all these figures and rules up. Women got to know that their asking list is so specific that it's hard to get that all those things in one guy, but if you got something that they really desire, and it's mostly money, they're gonna make all kind of exceptions. Or if you got that personality they like, that thug personality, or that, Pookie and Ray Ray, they'll make all kind of exceptions. If you land pipe the way that she like it, make all kind of exceptions. Women know this. So it was just funny seeing her give Maurice. He didn't have good conversation. He used to be married. He got 4 kids, but she kept him. Probably because he's a lawyer. He presents well. He presents well with the suit, and the smoothness and the flowers. That's the type of, she got that princess mentality. So she wants to be treated like a princess. So, and he provides that for her and lets her feel that. So she'll make all kind of exceptions. She probably want that lawyer money, but I'm gonna tell you, women should always be careful of men who are social butterflies. He said he's a social butterfly. This is how I know he's a player, but he's still got some work to do. He don't. He said he's a social butterfly. A lawyer, that's a social butterfly. That means a lawyer means he's going to get a lot of women, and he's a social butterfly. I mean, he's going to be talking to a whole bunch of them. I don't doubt for a second that's probably why his marriage ended. I don't even need to ask him that. This guy is a super player. Okay. Men who are social butterflies like that and don't mind talking to women, know how to treat women, this, that, and the third. He's going to be more of a player than any other guy on this show, including Ramon. And when men are social butterflies, they tend to smash a lot of women, and they tend not to be so faithful. Okay, so you got to watch out for men like that, because Maurice is giving me all kind of I like a whole bunch of women for a short time, not a long time. I'm a social guy. I got 4 kids. Yeah, I used to be married. I'm living my life now. I know how to treat women. I don't step on landmines. I got all the social cues. I know a guy like that. I will be interested to hear what his ex-girlfriends have to say. Okay. And I know you shouldn't go back and talk about past relationships, this, that, and the third. But this woman, if I'm a woman, that's what I'm thinking. I gotta get to know this guy's past, because he presents as all kind of player to me as a guy. So there you have it. So yeah, like I said, Charisse eliminates Antonio, and Vernicia keeps Jabari, and she eliminates Ramon. And I can see that they do seem to vibe a little bit better, both Vernicia and Jabari. So I can understand her move, and plus Ramon just don't have a whole bunch of experience really being in long-term relationships. So then the ladies argue again, and I want to ask y'all, who's right? Okay, is it Zadia or is it Charisse? Because Charisse is starting to pick at Zadia. She's talking about how this guy is what's his name? All these names, y'all. Um, she started to talk about how Cameron is such a good guy, and he's this, that, and the third, and he got a good head on his shoulders, almost kind of throwing it up in Zadia's face, and Zadia's getting super defensive, and then they started talking about the company and stuff. Who do y'all think is right, Zadia or Charisse? Okay, I'd be interested to know. I tell you, my vote. My vote is Vernisha. Okay, because she said something that made all the sense in the world, and that was, y'all need to be putting all our energy towards finding a man. Instead of sitting up here arguing, talking about, oh, I can leave. Okay, well, leave. You think your leaving is gonna stop Zadia's program? Not at all. Not at all. Leave. Actually, you be doing them a favor. More men for them. I don't know. Charisse is just all kind of problems to me. She just all kind of problems. Zadia is problems too. Trust and believe. I told y'all the typical personality types they put on these shows, and makes for good TV, makes for horrible partners. Okay. Let me know what y'all think about all of this in the comments. I really would be interested to know. Hit the like, share, and subscribe for real when I say that. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.